Hey yogis and yogis, welcome back to Yogina. My name is Anna, and today we're going to be doing a flow focused on inflammation. So if you just got back from a really long trip, or you're on your feet all day at work, or you just had a really tough workout and your body just feels really swollen, especially in the legs, the feet, and maybe the arms, this is going to be a really awesome practice just to get the blood, the oxygen moving through your body and really focus on that lymphatic drainage. So go ahead and hop onto your mats, grab something comfy to wear, and we'll get started. So for this practice, we're going to begin with legs up the wall, my very favorite pose of yoga. So go ahead and find a wall somewhere nearby. If you're not already there, just pause the video and go ahead and make your way over to the wall. We're going to scoot our glutes really close up to the edge of the floor and the wall. And then go ahead and as close as you can get, just place one side of the knees, one side of the legs close to the wall, and then inch the feet up the wall. So your glutes and your low back are kind of right on the edge of the wall and the floor. And the legs are nice and soft in the knees. Just letting gravity fully take over the legs. So maybe find some gentle wiggles out of the toes. Keep the hands right where they are if that feels good, feels natural. Or sometimes I like to take my arms overhead and grab opposite elbows or just kind of reach overhead. That really opens up in the heart and the shoulder space. So since we are on our feet all day or kind of upright most of the day, it's really awesome to be inverted. And this is such a passive inversion posture that just really gets the blood and the oxygen just moving in the opposite direction. So then when we do flip back upright, we have so much fresh blood moving through the body. So sometimes when you're really sore, you might feel like that lactic acid just really moving through the body in this posture. Or maybe if you're really kind of congested down on the feet and the ankles, you might physically start to feel the blood and oxygen moving down the legs. I always think that feels really good. So as we hang out here, just let the knees again just be nice and soft. And then we'll just focus on our breathing to start. So we'll go ahead and just inhale through the nose, fill up all the way down to the base of the belly and let the belly expand. And then exhale out the nose as the belly deflates. Just continuing that breath cycle for a couple rounds. So inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling and exhale. Last round here, we'll just inhale and exhale. And then just come back to that natural, effortless breathing, noticing the sensation in the throat, in the nose, in the belly. And then especially in the legs, the breath is still going all the way up to the toes. You should feel a lot of tension relief in the low back and the hips. Good, just 2 more breaths here, just really feeling any sensations that might come up. I could stay here all day. Really just giving your feet and your legs a break. It's super good for stress reliever too. Just letting the feet be above the heart. Good. And then if the arms are all the way overhead, we'll just start to take them back down beside us, or maybe place them on the belly. So resetting the shoulders and the heart. And then we're just going to ease our way back into that upright position. So we'll go ahead and stay on our backs here. Walk the feet down the wall, so slightly bend in the knees. And then press yourself away from the wall. So maybe just sliding on back just a little bit. So there's just a little bit of space here. From here, we're just going to find a reclined twist. So we'll go ahead and stack the knees. Take the hips up and over to the left side as the knees fall over to the right. So usually we like to end practice in this little reclined twist, but today we're just going to start in this unwinding of the torso, detoxing of any toxins in the stomach, in the body. And then you're welcome, if you need a little bit deeper stretch in this twist, maybe grabbing onto that left knee with your right hand and kind of pulling yourself deeper into the twist. That left arm is just going to come out beside you. Maybe the gaze goes over the left fingertips if that feels okay in the neck, or just the gaze goes up towards the ceiling. And as we hold on this side, just notice that left hip, that left glute, and the left shoulder. So really feel nice and heavy there. Just feel like you're really letting go and letting those points especially sink into the ground and feel nice and heavy. Good. On the next inhale, we'll make our way back through center. So lift the knees back up towards the center and then reset the hips. So maybe plant down the feet, take the hips back through center, and then lift the hips up and over to the right as the knees fall to the left. So again, maybe option to grab onto that right knee with your left hand, and then that right arm falls out beside you. Feeling super heavy in that right shoulder and right hip. Gaze can go over the right fingertips if that feels good on this side of the neck. And with every exhale, just let your body feel even heavier. Just sinking into the ground with gravity and with that tension release. On the next inhale, or whenever you feel balanced on this side, we'll bring it again back through center just to reset the spine. We'll hug the knees into the chest here. Find a little happy baby. So go ahead and take the feet up towards the sky. Grab the outsides of the feet. Bring the knees in. And then find stillness if that feels good. Maybe just a flat back. If that feels really, really good, that gets you deeper into the inner hips. Or if you want to massage out the back a little bit, just kind of rock and roll side to side. Good. We'll slowly release the feet. Bring the knees back in through center. And then roll onto the right side as we press ourselves up. So just coming back onto the mats wherever it may be. And then sitting in a wide-legged seat. So we'll take the feet out nice and wide, just find a healthy distance, nothing crazy here. And then come to the fronts of the sits bones. So we'll scoot the glutes out of the way. Keep the knees slightly softened. The toes are flexed, and then we'll just find a forward fold. So we'll inhale as you lengthen through the spine, shoulders roll down. We'll walk the hands forward as we exhale. So those shoulders are going to stay down the spine. Don't worry about how far you reach forward or how far your heart melts down. So whenever you start to feel it in the backs of the knees is exactly where you should be. Maybe a couple bounces to start just to slowly warm up the hamstrings. We'll find a lot of kind of movement and dynamic postures here just to really, again, get that the lymphatic drainage going in the body, just really moving things along. We'll go ahead and hold, maybe reaching a little bit further forward. No worries if that's not accessible. Just see if maybe it's more of an option, feel a little bit more open. This is a really awesome pose. If you're sitting all day, it opens up the low back and the hips so well. Super intense. And we'll start to deepen the breath as we walk the hands back up towards the body, lift up the heart. Take the hands all the way behind you so that the palms are on the ground, the fingertips are facing towards you, and then we'll press into the hands and press into the heels as we lift the hips high, shoulders roll back, maybe gaze goes up or behind you slightly, and again, we'll just move dynamically here. So drop the hips down, exhale, walk the hands forward, find that forward fold, wide-legged seat. And then inhale, bring yourself back up, walk the hands all the way behind you, lift the hips. Just keep moving here at your own pace. If one spot feels really, really awesome, just no rush to come out of it. Go ahead and hold there as long as you need to. Just find your breath. Maybe just one more round of each variation of that wide-legged seat. And then on the next inhale, as you make your way back up, we'll meet in that wide-legged seat, shoulders over the hips, and then start to bend in the knees as you plant the feet. So we'll move into a seated figure 4 posture. So hands again are going to be behind us. We'll bring both feet about hips distance wide and then keep the left foot planted. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. Maybe bring that left foot in a little bit and then scoot the hips forward. So you really feel that deep opening in the right glute, in the right hip. So that right knee is going to be aiming and pressing towards the front of the mat, or wherever you're facing, just towards the front of you. Shoulders are going to stay rolled back, nice and sturdy and grounded in the palms and that left foot. Then if that left foot is kind of close towards your body, you might want to just inch it forward a little bit so you have a little bit of space to move. And then we're just going to kind of rock back and forth here. So just over to one side, then the other, getting really deep into the hip socket. Just finding some movement there, some mobility. Good. And next time you come through center, we'll switch sides. So go ahead and shake out that right foot and then plant it down and switch sides. So cross the left ankle over the right knee. Press yourself up so the heart's open, the shoulders are rolled back, and that left knee is pressing forward. Maybe wiggle out the toes, releasing tension in the feet, keeping that left knee pressing forward. And then go ahead and scoot the right toes forward if they're kind of close to your body, and we'll just shake it out again. So let the knee fall side to side. Good. Come back through center. Shake out the left foot, plant it back down, and then lift yourself up. We'll come to all fours. So spin the legs behind us. Knees are going to be underneath the hips. We'll go ahead and actually make our way down to our stomachs to give the wrists a little bit of a break. So go ahead and find that crocodile pose. So stack the palms, elbows are going to come out wide. Forehead's going to rest on the knuckles, and then we'll shake out the hips. So just really release in the low back. Give your wrist a break. And feel that pressure point in between the third eye, in between the eyebrows. Bringing the hips back to stillness for a moment. And then pressing yourself back into child's pose. Big toes come together. Knees can stay together or make its way out. Either wide knees or close knees will sink the hips over the heels. Reach the arms forward. And really give the wrist a break by rolling out the wrist. So just finding little circles. Letting that head rest on the mat. Switching directions of the circles. And then reaching forward and staying there. Or see if it feels good. See if it's an option to bend in the elbows and bring the palms together. So this is going to get you super deep into the shoulder blades. So we'll rest the wrist on top of the neck, on top of the back of the head. Keep the elbows planted, or maybe start to inch them forward. Get super deep into the shoulders. Good. Exhale, we'll go ahead and release the hands if the elbows are bent. Inhale, press yourself up into all fours. So go ahead and separate the big toes here. And then we'll go ahead and find some hip circles. So moving through kind of a cat-cow variation, we'll go ahead and drop the belly, open up in the heart, and lift the hips. And then just go ahead and move through those circles here. So finding circles, stirring the pot with the hips, but then as you press back, arching into cat. So rounding through the shoulders, chin comes into the chest as you come forward. Maybe find that cow. And just stirring the pot here, and maybe even going all the way into kind of a big cobra. So walking the hands all the way forward, opening up, and then stirring back into modified cat, child's pose. Just kind of finding natural movements. You don't have to kind of make it exactly how I am, or there's no perfect way to do this. Just kind of feeling that opening in the hips and the heart. Anything that feels good here. Finding some movement, getting the blood, the oxygen moving. Making sure you balance out both sides, whatever motions you've taken. Good. And then coming back through center, coming back to all fours. So the wrists are going to be underneath the shoulders. Go ahead and scoot the hands back. Make sure the knees are still underneath the hips. Toes are going to be slightly tucked. We'll bring that left hand in towards the center. Right hand's gonna place behind the head. We'll open up with the elbow as we inhale, so the elbow goes up towards the sky. Exhale as we close, elbow meets elbow. Inhale as we open. Exhale, close. Last time, inhale, open. Extend the arm all the way up. And then exhale, thread the needle. Right arm threads all the way through the left and lowers down onto the right shoulder, the right side of the head. Reach forward with the left hand to ground you, or reach all the way back behind you, placing the left fingertips on the right hip. That left shoulder really opens up with the heart aiming towards the ceiling. Good. We'll lower down that left hand if it's behind you. Plant it just underneath that left shoulder. And then inhale as we unwind. Reach up again with that right hand. Lower back down. Good. Just to give the knees a little bit of a break, we'll go ahead and tuck the toes, activate the core, and then hover with the knees here. So nice and strong in the shoulders. Maybe feel the shake in the core. Really strong here. Good. Lower down the knees, untuck the toes, or keep them slightly tucked. And then bring that right hand in towards the center line. Take the left hand behind your head. Inhale as we open. Exhale, elbow to elbow. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last time, inhale, open up. Reach up with the left hand. And exhale, we'll close. Thread the needle. Right hand inches forward or wraps all the way behind you. Open up in the heart. Feel that deep opening in the shoulders and the chest. And then that detoxing of the torso. We'll go ahead and unwind whenever you feel balance on this side. Lower down that right hand. Inhale as we reopen and reach up with the left hand. And then exhale as we lower down. Shake out the hips. Good. We'll find our first down dog. So inch the hands a little bit further forward. We'll tuck the toes, lift the knees, and then lift the hips. Pedal out the dog here to slowly warm up the hamstrings again. Drop one knee, bend the opposite heel. Feel those grounding points in the pinky and the thumb of both hands, holding you nice and steady. Kind of like you imagine a frog. Really grounding points in those parts of your hand. And then keeping the hips lifted here, maybe evening out the heels this time, keeping the knees still soft so you're not overextending. Heart presses back. Here's our grounding pose here. And I wouldn't call it a super restorative pose. It's pretty challenging in a sense, but it is kind of like our home base here. So just really feeling the awesomeness of this posture, nice and steady and grounded in the feet, in the fingers, and then open in the backs of the legs. Good. Inhale, we'll start to make our way up towards the front of the mat, so tippy-toeing the feet up to meet the hands. We'll find a forward fold. So again, slight bent in the knees. We'll hang out here. This is also awesome passive inversion here. So blood's rushing to the head, to the heart, to the shoulders, to the neck. So grab opposite elbows to really help you release and unfold. Or I guess this would be refolding. Shake out the head, yes and no. Really release in the neck. And feel that natural opening of the knees as we hold here. Final breath here. Exhale, release the elbows if you grabbed on, and inhale. We'll move ourselves up into a standing posture, feeling each vertebrae of the spine unwind as we unfold. Good, making your way up to mountain pose. Roll the shoulders back, palms face forward. And we'll inhale, take the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, find cactus pose. Bend in the elbows, heart opens up, shoulder blades come together. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, take the hands behind you, interlace the fingertips, and then press the knuckles away from you so the shoulders roll open again. The heart opens up. Maybe find a gentle back bend, finding your balance, fixing your gaze. And then keeping those hands interlaced, we'll go ahead and fold it forward. So hands can rest on the low back if that feels better, or start to fly the knuckles high, and that gets you really deep into the shoulders. Releasing the head wherever you landed, whatever variation you chose. And then slowly let the hands fall to the low back if they're not already there. Release the fingers without flinging, and then take the hands down to the mat. Shake it out again. Good. We'll inhale, find a half lift. So find the flat back, hands go up the legs. Exhale, refold. Inhale, step the right foot back, low runner's lunge. Drop that right hip. Make sure that left knee is behind the left toes. So you're protecting the knee, the shoulders, roll down the spine, feel nice and open in that right hip. And then plant the hands, press the left foot back to meet the right, find a high plank, nice and strong. Inhale, take the shoulders forward, lower down like an inchworm, knees, chest, chin, or hug the elbows in as you find chaturanga. Inhale, untuck the toes, lift up, find up dog. So the only thing on the mat are the palms and the tops of the feet. From here, just kind of shake it out, gaze go over one shoulder, then the other. Protect the low back still, so don't move around that too much. Just kind of take the gaze side by side. And then come back through center, tuck the toes, lift the hips, spine down dog. On the next inhale, we'll kick that right heel high, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that foot all the way up and through, plant it between both hands. Roll the shoulders down the spine. Keep that left hip heavy. And then that left foot's going to come up to meet the right this time. Forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep the arms high. Exhale, palms come together at prayer. Good, finding our way back into that standing pose. We'll open up as we find a twist in the shoulders. So go ahead and inhale here. Exhale, pull back with that right hand like you're pulling a bow. Reach forward with the left hand, and then gaze is going to go to the right, or maybe even all the way over behind you, over the right fingertips. Check in with that right hip though. See if it wants to kind of press back. See if you can press it forward. So those hips are still in line. Feel a lot more intense in the shoulders. The shoulders are in line here. It's a pretty challenging posture, especially because we're so closed up all day. All right, exhale, we'll bring it back through center. So close the right hand to meet the left like a book. Inhale, and then exhale, pull the left hand back. Press that left hip forward. Gaze over to the left side or over the left fingertips behind you. And then come back through center on the next exhale, palms to meet the center, and then bring those palms into prayer center, towards the heart. Good, make your way back up to the front of the mat if you're not already there. We'll inhale, take the arms high, circle sweep them overhead. Exhale, dive it down, forward fold. Inhale, find a half lift, flat back. Exhale, step that right foot back, low runner's lunge. Drop the right knee, untuck the toes, and then find an easy twist. Right hand's gonna lower down, stay grounded. Inhale, reach high with the left hand. So finding that twist we just found in the standing posture in a low lunge. Opening in the shoulders. From here, we're gonna fix our gaze on something beside us that's not moving to hold us really, really steady. So nice and focused in the mind. We're gonna start to lift ourselves up, twisting towards the left. So inhale, bring yourself up with the left hand. Reach forward with the right hand. And then again, gaze goes either behind you or beside you. Inhale, reach down with the left hand, maybe touching that right leg, and reach back with the right hand. Inhale, bring it back up, reach forward with the right hand, back with the left hand, and then unwind the same way we came into it. Lower down the right hand, lower down the left hand, frame the left foot, and then move into a half split low lunge variation. So press the hips back, straighten through the left knee. Inhale, bring it forward, bend in the left knee. Exhale, press it back. Inhale, bring it forward. Keep moving here. Hold in either variation if it feels better than the other. You listen to your body. And then the next time you come forward, if you're not already there, we'll go ahead and tuck the right toes, lift the knee, lower down the hands, and kick it back to find that high plank. Either press the hips right into a down dog or move through that flow. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, find up dog. And exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, find down dog. Good. Inhale, kick the right heel high again, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it forward, plant it between both hands. Make sure again that knee isn't racing in front of those right toes. Drop the left knee, untuck the toes. Keep the left hand planted, and inhale, open up with the right hand. Stack the shoulders, keep that right knee in line, hugs in close towards the body so the toes and the knee are aiming the same direction. And then when you're ready and feel focused, look beside you. Find nice strength in the core and the body and the mind, and bring yourself up. Reach back with the right hand, forward with the left hand. Fix your gaze somewhere that's not moving, and then inhale, take it back. Right hand reaches back towards the left leg. Left hand reaches back. And then we'll come out of it the same way we came into it. So reach back with the right hand again, forward with the left hand, lower down with the left hand, reach up with the right hand. And then exhale, frame that right foot with both hands and move through that half split low lunge movement. Press the hips back, straighten through the right knee. Inhale, bend and bring it forward. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, press it back. And move through your own pace here, your own variation. It feels really good in the hamstrings in this practice right now, in this moment. Then go ahead and hold there. No sense in moving if it feels good. And And then the next time you move into that low lunge, we'll hold there again. And then tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, press back into a high plank. Right foot goes back to meet the left. Optional flow here. Meet in a down dog. Good. Tippy toe or float up to meet your hands, forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep the arms high. Exhale, hands come down beside you. Palms come together at prayer. We'll heel toe the feet out nice and wide here. Toes are going to come and aim towards the corners of the mat. And then stay up on the toes if your hamstrings, your calves are really, really tight. Or drop down the hips, drop down the heels, and then bend in the knees. So if you have a prop here, this is really helpful. If you have really tight hips, just to place a block underneath the sacrum, that can help give that support. But otherwise, keep the hands grounded if that feels better, or bring the palms together, and then deepen the posture by pressing the elbows into the knees, just gently opening up the hips, the low back. Good, we'll just lift up the hips slightly, take the hands down, reach behind you, and make your way down onto your back. So lower down the glutes, bring the feet in, keep the knees in line with the hips, and we'll make our way down. So reach it forward with the hands, keep the feet planted, strengthen the core as we make our way down, one vertebrae at a time. Good. From here, we'll hug the knees into the chest, give it a little bit of a squeeze, maybe roll out ankles. And then find waterfall pose. So go ahead and start to lift the feet up towards the sky. So kind of just like we did in that legs up the wall, like we started practice. Again, if you have a block here, just go ahead and slide that underneath the sacrum here. So make sure it's not too far into the low back, but just placing that block underneath the sacrum can kind of take a lot of effort out of the core here. But if you don't have one, that's totally fine. We won't be here for super long. Or if you like legs up the wall, you're welcome to choose that variation and kind of opt out of the next few postures. So again, you're welcome to stay here if this feels good. Or we're just gonna slowly walk through shoulder stance and then plow pose. So these two options aren't for everyone, so just taking your time, make sure you watch me first before you do it, because you don't want to move your neck while you're doing these postures. So go ahead and from here, if you want to try shoulder stand, go ahead and start to lift the hips and then grab onto the low back with both hands. Those elbows are going to come kind of towards each other, towards the middle, to really prop yourself up like a tripod. So again, you don't want to be moving your neck here, so make sure you watch before you do this. I'll give you plenty of time to get in and out of it. And then stay here. That just gets you a lot more blood flow in the opposite direction, deeper inversion. Or start to make your way back. So again, super don't want to move your neck here. But go ahead and start to make your way behind your head with your feet, and then keep that low back supported with your hands, especially if your toes aren't quite touching the floor. If your toes are touching the floor, you're really getting that thyroid kind of opened up nice and deep in the throat, in the neck, and then especially in the hamstrings. But again, if your feet aren't touching the floor, no worries. Just support that low back with your hands and take the feet as far back as they'll go. Good. So So if you've not already gotten into it, just slowly make your way into that posture. Breathing here, making sure you can still breathe. Take as much time as you need to kind of try out here. Just kind of letting you play around. I'm going to be in waterfall pose, but you're welcome to keep holding that plow pose, keep holding the shoulder stand, maybe legs up the wall. We'll eventually make our way back to waterfall, but if you're in that plow pose, just very slowly come out of it. Whenever you feel ready, move through shoulder stand, and then gently, gently release the low back, take the elbows out wide, and lower down the hips. So the feet are kind of hanging out again. We'll bring the knees back in towards the chest and release the hands. And then find the counter pose of fish pose. So go ahead and extend the legs again. From here, we'll go ahead and take the hands underneath the glutes so the palms are facing the ground. The tops of the hands are just underneath the glutes, like they're in your back pockets, kind of, but in the opposite direction. And then from here, we'll bring the elbows in close to the spine. So again, like a tripod, you're just gonna press into the elbows, press into the forearms as you lift the heart, point the toes, feet are in kind of close to each other, and then maybe even keep walking those elbows close to each other. The top of the head is almost touching, but just hovering over the mat. And the neck just really, really opens up. So we were just opening it up with the plow pose. This is kind of opening up in the opposite direction. Opening up the neck. Good, we'll slowly come out of this posture, take the elbows out wide, slowly lower down the upper back, and untuck the hands. And then finish off with any final poses that feel good for you. But I'm just gonna come into Shavasana because I feel pretty complete. If you want to take the legs again up the wall, if that felt really awesome for your swollen body, then go ahead and make your way back over to the wall. But otherwise, just again, finish off with any final poses your body feels like it needs, maybe a morning stretch or kind of reclined cobbler's pose, bottoms of the feet together, knees out wide. Anything that feels good. And we'll all just take a deep inhale through the nose, fill up in the belly, and exhale out the open mouth. And make your way into that final resting pose, letting the toes fall out to the corners of the mat, the shoulders roll under the spine, palms face the ceiling. Relaxing the muscles in the face by opening and closing the jaw, raising and lowering the eyebrows, closing down the eyes, keeping the tongue soft. And then just noticing if your body feels any different than you started practice. And then just be for as long as you need to be. Namaste. If you enjoyed this video and feel great, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next flow.